Hi, I'm Yogi Roth, and welcome to the final edition of the Pulse of College Football right here on Fox College Sports. And it's a special edition because we are talking about the BCS bowl games. It was a great regular season, a dramatic bowl season, but now it's the games that we've all been looking forward to the most. But we're going to take a unique look at the BCS bowl games and give you for the holidays that much anticipated playoff system. We have found the top 8 teams that were ranked 1 through 8 in the final BCS rankings and put them against each other in an 8-team playoff. We've also brought in guest analyst Samantha Steele, who you watched all season long on the sideline on Fox College Sports, talk about teams in the Big 12 and the Pac-10. She's going to make her picks, and I'm either going to agree or disagree with them as we find the #1 team in the entire country through our 8-team playoff system. In the first round, we've got #1 seed Auburn, #8 seed Arkansas, in a great game that all SEC fans will surely tune into in our playoff system. Well, Samantha, do you think that Ryan Mallett's arm has what it takes to upset the top seed in the first round of the playoffs?
Yo, crazier things have happened. There is no doubt that Ryan Mallett is legit, but on a neutral field, Cam Newton takes over this game.
Couldn't agree more. Cam Newton and Auburn will beat Arkansas and advance to the semifinals. Also in the first round, we've got Stanford against Wisconsin in probably the most physical game in all of these playoff matchups. Well, Samantha, I know you're a big Jim Harbaugh fan. We're going to go with Andrew Luck and the Stanford Cardinal in this game.
I love Jim Harbaugh's squad for a reason. They play disciplined, physical football. Wisconsin has some of the same strengths, but Andrew Luck's football IQ is going to put the Cardinal over the top in this one.
Well, Samantha, I agree with you. I think Stanford is the more physical team, and this will be a tight game all the way up until the fourth quarter when that big, powerful, veteran offensive line of Stanford takes over. Stanford advances to the semis to face Auburn. So we go to the other side of the bracket, and we've got #2 seed Oregon against #7 seed Oklahoma. Now, Samantha, does this game have upset city written all over it for Oklahoma?
This is going to be a great game. Bottom line, Oregon is just too fast. They have the athletes to man up with anybody in the country, but they also play the game incredibly fast. I'm taking the Ducks on this one.
Well, the fan in me wants to pick Oklahoma because you love games like this, two completely wide open offenses. But the analyst says Oregon will simply wear out Oklahoma as their offense just continues to go and go and go with a tempo that has not been seen in college football. Chip Kelly and his team, they advance. So I guess, Samantha, we agree again. In the final first round matchup, we've got Ohio State against TCU. Now, if this was at Ohio State, I would pick Ohio State. If it was at TCU, I would pick TCU. But like all of our playoff games, it is at a neutral field. So Samantha, who do you pick in a neutral site?
Yo, this is the matchup that this country has been waiting for. TCU and Ohio State. According to Ohio State's president, against the Little Sisters of the Poor. Believe it or not, I'm taking the Little Sisters in this one. TCU is legit. Andy Dalton is no joke, and I think they exposed the Buckeyes in this game.
Well, for the 4th straight time, I have to agree with you, Samantha, and it hurts me to even admit it. But TCU behind Andy Dalton, right now he is currently the winningest quarterback in college football. I think if you give him a month to prepare, he's going to play extremely well. And that defense, they're ranked #1 in the nation for a reason. TCU advances to the semis. Okay, we're in the Final Four, the semifinals. And in the first semifinal, we've got #1 seed Auburn against #4 seed Stanford. A great matchup at a neutral site. Samantha, who do you got?
Auburn probably has more athletic ability than Stanford, but Stanford is just too steady. Cam Newton will try to take over this game, but that Stanford defense will play contained and they won't make mistakes. Believe it or not, I'm taking the Cardinal in this game.
Well, in all big games, it comes down to the quarterback play. And for Auburn and Cam Newton, well, he simply willed his team to victory every game this season. For Stanford and Andrew Luck, well, he's positioned himself to potentially be the #1 pick in this spring's NFL draft. And in this game, Samantha, I see both quarterbacks leading their teams on late drives, but I got to agree with you. Stanford will get the ball last, Andrew Luck will lead his team down the field, and the Stanford Cardinal will find themselves in the Fox College Sports Pulse of College Football National Championship. All right, in the other semifinal, we've got Oregon and TCU, probably the two coolest uniforms in all of college football. But this is going to be a very fast and physical game. So Samantha, what do you got?
This won't be the country's favorite game to watch, but it's still a great matchup. I'm taking the Ducks in this game. They just have a little bit more athletic ability. They're going to man up against TCU, and they win that battle.
So Samantha, you went with Oregon to advance to our championship game, and I've got to agree with you. I think Chip Kelly and his offense is simply dynamic. He has revolutionized the game of college football and will continue to do so with his tempo and his pacing on offense. It's simply fun to watch, and I think it's too much for TCU late in the second half. So our championship game of our 8-team playoff, we've got Stanford and we've got Oregon, a Pac-10 matchup. Samantha, I know you're a fan of this conference. Who are you going with and why?
Yogi, I can hear the SEC fans screaming as I speak. No, this is not a knock against your conference. I just believe the best two teams in the country this year are Oregon and Stanford. A lot of people don't stay up late enough to watch Stanford and Oregon play, especially when they're not in a national market. But I can tell you, these two teams make a great national championship. Maybe not monetarily, but this is going to be a great game. I'm actually going to pick Stanford to win this game. Jim Harbaugh will not lose to this team again, and Andrew Luck is too smart. He makes too good of decisions. They're not going to fall back in the second half like most teams do against the Ducks. Stanford Cardinal, the national championship.
So you went with Stanford, huh, Samantha? Well, I had to go all the way back to the film to give my analysis. And when I looked at these two teams, when they played each other around mid-season, well, Stanford had success in the first half, but Andrew Luck was simply shut down in the third and fourth quarter. And Oregon, behind Chip Kelly's offense, well, they simply went off in the third and fourth quarter. So to me, this is going to be a great game. But the one factor we need to talk about is that this final championship game is going to be played in a neutral site. That is why Stanford will run the football with success, Andrew Luck will do well in the quick game and play action passes, and Samantha, for the first time in relative history, I'm going to agree with you on every one of your picks. That's right, Stanford wins the pulse of college football's 2010-2011 national championship in an upset victory over Oregon. Well, for all of us here at Fox College Sports and the Pulse of College Football, it has been an absolute blast talking football, making predictions, and even arguing via Twitter about a couple different issues here in college football, and I appreciate all of them. So thank you from all of us here at Fox College Sports. Have a safe, have a healthy, and a very happy holiday. And of course, I'm sure you watch a lot of ball.
This is Fox College Sports.